What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So a special video for you guys today, man. You guys have been so good. I've been dropping a lot of iPhone content. I might as well drop something that has nothing to do with anything, and this video will probably only get like 300 views. But if you guys know, I pretty much covered the Nintendo Wii extensively on this channel probably since like 2016. I've been making videos on it, and I've owned every single Nintendo console so far, and I love it. And just because I own them doesn't mean like I have a better opinion. You guys probably know more about Nintendos than I do. But what I can tell you is that Nintendo has made some really interesting choices throughout their time. And looking at the Nintendo Wii, that was a huge success in my opinion. But then they went with the Wii U, which I reviewed last year and this year as well. And that was a very strange experience in my opinion. I feel like they tried to do too many things with it. But without the Nintendo Wii U, we would have probably never gotten the Nintendo Switch, which is totally understandable now, so I don't really want to hate on it too much. But one of the consoles that I never really understood why Nintendo made, and honestly, I didn't even know they made it until like a year ago. That console is actually the Nintendo Wii Mini, and I've seen so many people do videos on this, and I actually picked this up like a year ago to make a video about, but I just never got the time to do it. Because every time I'm about to do it, like a new iOS version would come out or a new phone would drop, so I have to talk about that. But now I have some spare time, so we're going to be looking at the Nintendo Wii Mini, looking at how it kind of holds up. I honestly think this is going to be a pretty short video because there's really not too much that the Nintendo Wii didn't already like hit on basically, because even though this was a mini version of the Nintendo Wii, it was more than just a mini version. They really stripped out so much of the original Nintendo Wii that I'm just like, why would anybody even go pick up a Nintendo Wii Mini when you can pick up a Nintendo Wii, which would be way better? Now, the Nintendo Wii Mini was technically released in 2012 in Canada actually first, and it was released at a $100 price tag, which was cheaper than the Nintendo Wii's original price tag. And I think, from what I've been reading, Nintendo's main reason for dropping this was to kind of get more people into the Wii ecosystem and basically spending more money on the Nintendo Wii line and all their games and everything. So even though Nintendo Wii U was released around the same time as this, you could not play Wii games on this. This was only strictly for Nintendo Wii games. And when you look at it, I mean, it looks nothing like a Nintendo Wii at all. It's much smaller in every dimension, basically. I feel like it's a little thicker though, but it definitely does feel like a cheap console in my opinion. The original Nintendo Wii felt so premium for being released for when it was. This one just literally feels like so cheap, and when I like shake it around in my hand, I can feel like it feels like nothing. So I'm not too sure why Nintendo deliberately made this thing feel so cheap, and it just gives me like the old like original PlayStation 1 vibes, because the Nintendo Wii, which wasn't even that much more expensive, like I understand it was like 2 times the cost or something, but it really wasn't that much more expensive. For them to bare bones this thing and make it as cheap as it does, I mean, it has like an open slot button which opens the top up, and it's just so weird. I don't understand why they did that. It was so obnoxious. But everything else of the console just screams like cheap Nintendo console to me. It feels like cheaper than a Nintendo 2DS, which is pretty hard to beat. On the back though, we have the standard port selections. We have the standard outputs that the Nintendo Wii is also capable of doing. You have the sensor bar. You have one USB port, which is actually less than the original Nintendo Wii, which had more than that. I think it had 2. I'm looking at one now, but I can't see it that well. But that one had 2 at least. And I don't know what they were thinking. I understand that it's supposed to be a cheap version of it, but they didn't have to go this cheap. And the dumbest thing they did with the Nintendo Wii Mini was remove the Ethernet port and also remove all internet connectivity. So you cannot play like online games. So if you were playing on Animal Crossing back in like 2013 and you have like this girl that you like on Animal Crossing, and you can't like, and you've been talking to her for a while and you've been like leaving marks on the floor that like says, hey, how are you, whatever, you can't go talk to the girl anymore or that guy anymore because Nintendo removed the internet connectivity. So your virtual girlfriend on Animal Crossing, you can't even talk to him anymore. And that's so petty of them to do. I don't understand why they did that. They could have done like so many other things. They could have removed so many other things from this console, but they had to go and do that, which was so annoying. The other thing they did, which I honestly don't understand why they did this, it just makes no sense. They took that same kind of philosophy with their Nintendo Wii, and they still did not add GameCube compatibility on this, which I understand that's a little bit more petty to talk about because the original one, the successor to that one, actually the revised version of that, didn't have it either. But I feel like they could have inputted it back in to make this more appealing. It honestly, I think the GameCube actually feels more premium than the Nintendo Wii Mini, which is pretty, it's just, I don't understand what they were thinking. But the worst thing they did with this, in my opinion, besides the internet one is probably the worst one, but they removed the SD card slot from the Nintendo Wii line. So the original Nintendo Wii had that capability, the Wii U had that capability, the Nintendo Switch has that capability, but with the Nintendo Wii Mini, they removed that for, I don't know what they were thinking. Dude, even the Nintendo DSi had that capability, and 3DS, and the DSi was released before this Nintendo Wii Mini. So again, I don't know what they were thinking. Why would they remove such an important integral part other consoles. And I'm not even too sure if you were able to expand the storage with this back USB port. I'm not 100% sure. So that means whatever memory you have capable on this thing, that's really all you were left with, which makes no sense to me, Even the original Nintendo Wii, that one was a very good console in my opinion, and I think everyone kind of agrees to that at this point, but the Nintendo Wii Mini, in terms of just the capability of it, it was more than just a stripped down version of a Nintendo Wii. It was not even a Nintendo Wii. It wasn't even a Nintendo Wii Lite. It was like a whole different console that wasn't even related to Nintendo Wii. All it really did that was comparable to the original one is play Wii games, which might be the whole thing of it, why it was called Nintendo Wii Mini. But I think that was a super weird thing to do. But the really cool thing, I guess, about the Wii Mini is that it was able to play Wii games, and you had a huge, vast library of this thing. It was super, super cool. You have all those Wii games that you could play. The only issue, like I said, there was no internet capability, so you couldn't go and play Mario Kart online or do that Animal Crossing thing, like I said. So I guess that's kind of a cool thing. There was no Wii Shop in reality because you couldn't connect to the internet, so you couldn't go and download Netflix or the internet browser or whatever. So again, more than just a stripped down version of the Wii. It was just not even a Wii at the end of the day, which is so annoying for them to do. Now, thankfully, you were able to still use the original Nintendo Wii controllers and the nunchucks, so thank God there wasn't any specific controller you had to buy for the Wii Mini, which would just make this thing even worse. And the funny thing is that when this thing was released, I don't really understand this, but this thing was selling for $100 at the time, okay, which might seem like a really good deal, but for some reason, the Nintendo Wii Mini hasn't even hit that much depreciation yet. This thing was released in 2012, 2013. This thing is still selling for $40, $50, $60 sometimes, and I don't understand why anybody in their right mind would pick up a Nintendo Wii Mini when you can pick up a Nintendo Wii, the original one with GameCube compatibility, for way less. That you can pick one up for probably $25 to $30 with enough accessories to get you going, maybe even a game or two. So I don't know why people would actually go and pick one of these up. For me, I feel like an idiot because I picked it up in September of 2018 and I haven't even made a video of it. It's just been sitting around. But that kind of makes sense for me because I have to make a video about it, and you're listening to it, so I guess it's okay. But when someone actually goes out in their right mind and actually goes and tries to pick up a Nintendo Wii Mini, I don't understand why they would do that. I would probably even recommend picking up a Nintendo DS or even DSi or DS Lite, whatever. I would rather have one of those than a Nintendo Wii Mini. And the biggest problem I have with the Wii Mini is that you can't modify it. As far as I know, you cannot modify it in any way. There's maybe a couple ways. I think Modern Vintage Gamer, he talked about a couple ways where you can restore the NAND or do a hardware modify. I don't even know. But in terms of actually going there and adding specific ROMs or downloading the homebrew store or whatever, you can't actually do that, which is so annoying. With my original Nintendo Wii, I was able to do that, and that was actually a lot of fun. I was able to play PlayStation 1 games on the Nintendo Wii, which was so much fun. The first time I actually ever finished Spyro the Dragon was from my Nintendo Wii because I don't even think I had a laptop to actually go and download emulators on, and my phone was way too slow to play those games. So the Nintendo Wii Mini, the Nintendo Wii with the homebrew selection and the homebrew store, that actually added so much more capability, and that was so much fun. You guys have no idea. The amount of memories and nostalgia I get from owning a Nintendo Wii. I'm so glad I'm still able to own them. I have 2 of them, and it's so much fun. But you can't replicate that experience from a Nintendo Wii Mini. And like I said, that's one of the worst things about it. And even if there was internet connectivity, you still don't have an SD card slot on this thing. So maybe you could do something with a USB port, but the lack of the SD card, which is pretty much the primary way of actually homebrewing your Nintendo Wii, which if I recall, you have to have at least a 3 gigabyte SD card and then input it in and then boot it up a certain way. I actually don't even remember, but regardless, the original Nintendo Wii, even the others, the successor, the RVL 101, whatever that is, the successor of the Nintendo Wii that removes backwards compatibility, I would even rather have that one than the Nintendo Wii Mini. And like I said, you can pick those up for cheaper than the Nintendo Wii Mini on eBay or wherever. So if you have a Wii Mini, I would love to hear your experience down below. But dude, honestly, stay away from the Wii Mini. It's not even worth owning. It's not even worth looking at, in my opinion. I'm so glad I just recently found out about it. Well, a year, but that's pretty recent for when it was released. I'm so glad I found out about it now and not when it was released, because then I probably would have wanted one. But this thing is not a Wii Mini. This thing shouldn't even be, Nintendo shouldn't even made this thing. I wonder if they actually made money. I'm sure they made money, but I wonder how much money they made off selling this console. I would love for someone, a higher rep at Nintendo, to hit me up and let me know, but guys, that is pretty much it, guys. I love Nintendo. I have love for this console, kind of, but ultimately, I would stay away from the Nintendo Wii Mini. Pick up a DSi, pick up a DSi XL. You can still modify those things. Pick up original Nintendo Wii. Pick up every other Wii console, even a Wii U. Just don't pick up a Nintendo Wii Mini. It's a lackluster console at best. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions, or you had a Wii Mini, or you have even the original Nintendo Wii, let me know your experience with it down in the description below. I would love to hear your opinion on it, whether it was good, whether it was bad. Let me know it in the comment section below. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. If you like me doing all these Nintendo console reviews and all these other video game console reviews, let me know in the comment section below too, dude, or DM me on Instagram or Twitter. It's been a minute since I've done these, but I feel like, you guys have always been commenting to do another game console review. We haven't done one in so long, so I figure I might as well go and do one for you guys. Hit that like button, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.